YouTube, what is going on? It's the Nero Talk 23. I'm back with another video. Before we get into the video, YouTube, I need you to hit that like, comment, and subscribe button. Turn on that post notification bell while you at it. So today we got a true crime story. I ain't did one of these in a minute, but we got the 10-year-old girl that shot and murdered her mom's enemy. Let's get straight into it.
Right now, police say a 10-year-old is in custody for murder.
It's just so sad that she lost her life to this senseless situation.
Should a child in any scenario have to protect their parent? In the case of a 10-year-old, the answer is always no, especially when there's a involved. In May 2022, a horrifying piece of news reached Orlando, Florida, after her mom got into a heated argument with a 10-year-old girl pulled a gun out of a pink school bag and shot the neighbor in the head. But the story goes deeper than this. The unnamed girl's mother, Larkisha Isaac, had groomed her daughter into doing this. So what really happened that night? Why did the girl fire the bullet? And what else was revealed after she and her mom were arrested? This is the full story of the 10-year-old girl who murdered her mom's enemy. You guys, we're going to Orlando, Florida again. Orlando is a big, beautiful city filled with opportunities for those young and old. But it's also a place where you have a 1 in 21 chance of being a victim of a crime. That is twice the national average. In the late hours of May 30th, 2022, 41-year-old LaShawn Denise Rogers was outside her home after celebrating Memorial Day with her boyfriend. LaShawn was super popular in her community. She was also a mom and, very recently, a grandma. She was very involved in her kids' lives. She promised to keep them happy and protect her family as well as the other children in the community. She always had activities lined up for everyone, volunteered at the local schools and daycare centers, and people saw her as a pillar of the community. But that night, things would go horribly wrong for LaShawn. Just before midnight, the Orlando police were called to the Jargon Gardens apartment complex around the Mercy Drive area.
Officers say they were told during a physical altercation between 41-year-old LaShawn Denise Rogers and 31-year-old Lucretia Isaac.
I have actually been a customer of BetterHelp for a little over 2 years now, and I was able to get matched up with a therapist in like
Isaac handed her 10-year-old daughter a bag.
Just before entering her apartment, LaShawn's neighbor, Lucretia, started an argument with her. It's unclear what exactly they said to each other, but at one point, Lucretia punched LaShawn. LaShawn was so offended that she slapped Lucretia back. Things got intense very quickly, and the women started throwing punches at each other. Meanwhile, Lucretia's 10-year-old daughter was watching, just a few feet away from the kerfuffle. That's when her mom threw her a pink school bag containing a black pistol. The daughter calmly opened the bag, pulled out the gun, cocked it, and fired 2 bullets into LaShawn's head. She yelled, "That's what you get for messing with my mama." There were many witnesses to LaShawn's murder. Their neighbors and LaShawn's poor boyfriend had seen it all. They were left in shock and disbelief as LaShawn lay dead on the ground with a hole in her chin. The community had so many questions.
New details tonight on a deadly shooting at an Orlando apartment complex. Police now say a 10-year-old shot and killed a woman who was arguing with her mom.
As one family is grieving, we know that 10-year-old girl is in DCF custody at last check, and her mom is sitting behind bars here facing charges after police say that mom gave her daughter the opportunity to pull out that gun during a fight.
The whole situation made no sense to those who knew LaShawn. First of all, she was a peaceful woman.
It's just so sad that she lost her life to this senseless situation. She didn't deserve it at all. She's not that type of person, and she don't get into this type of stuff.
I can't say nothing bad about her, and she kept you laughing. Her humor, oh my God, her spirit was awesome.
Second of all, what on earth was going on between Lucretia and her daughter? Why did she throw her daughter a bag containing a gun after a 1-minute-long argument? And why did her 10-year-old know how to use the gun to perfection? Why did that girl feel the need to protect her mom at all costs? Lucretia Isaac and her daughter were arrested and taken to jail that night. Lucretia was charged with a serious list of offenses: manslaughter, culpable negligence, child neglect, contributing to the delinquency of a minor, aggravated assault with a firearm. Lucretia literally handed her 10-year-old daughter the weapon with which to kill LaShawn. Why didn't she do it herself? The child neglect charge is pretty obvious if you ask me. Raising a child to think they must do anything to protect you, not the other way around, is despicable. And putting them in harm's way like that is even worse. Lucretia's daughter should have been in bed, or at the very least in her bedroom at midnight, not outside as her mom's bouncer during a fight. When it came to Lucretia's daughter, however, charging her was a bit more complicated. She was very young. And so the main question was she even aware of the gravity of what she had done?
Right now, police say a 10-year-old is in custody for murder.
The consequences of this sudden, senseless fight can only be seen through the grief and desperation of LaShawn's loved ones. Her boyfriend, Marcial Tirado, was there when it all happened. He kept crying, "My baby's gone, oh my god, my baby's gone." He just couldn't believe this was actually happening. Marcial held on to the hope that his girlfriend could be saved until the very last moment. After he called 911, the officers were the first to arrive. They provided CPR to LaShawn until the paramedics arrived. As soon as the paramedics arrived, they rushed LaShawn into an ambulance, and she was taken to the Orlando Regional Medical Center. Minutes later, she was pronounced dead on arrival. When Marcial spoke to the police about LaShawn's death, he said they'd just been having a grill outside for Memorial Day. When that was done, the two were getting ready to go inside. Lucretia approached LaShawn and began an argument over a recent dispute between the two. Within a minute or so, Lucretia hit LaShawn, and she hit back. That's when Marcial intervened. So not only did Lucretia make her daughter LaShawn, but she also attempted to shoot Marcial as he tried to defuse the situation. Another neighbor named Ashley corroborated Marcial's story. She watched the whole incident through her peephole, frightened to death. According to Ashley, after killing LaShawn, the 10-year-old girl said, "You fucked with my mama." The accounts differ on the girl's exact words, but the picture is pretty clear nevertheless. Ashley also said she saw Lucretia grab the gun from her daughter and point it at Marcial until he retreated into the apartment in tears. She then watched as Isaac walked back to her residence and showed no remorse or care for the injuries sustained by Rogers, the affidavit alleges. What is worse than grooming your child into a killer? Showing zero emotion over someone. Who knows? She might even be proud of her little killer daughter. According to Inside Edition, during her interrogation, Lucretia told the cops, "I ain't got nothing to say to y'all, at all. Don't talk to my baby either. She's underage, no reason to talk to her." As you might have guessed, Lucretia did not have any power over the police, and the cops did speak to her daughter. As it turns out, Lucretia was drunk that night. According to her daughter, she decided she wanted to speak woman to woman with LaShawn, and she approached her while she was still pretty intoxicated. The girl said she thought LaShawn had an object like a sharp rock in her hand as she hit her mother. She panicked, thinking the object could her mother's head. She also said she heard LaShawn make a threat to her family before the argument. Lucretia's daughter was charged with second-degree murder. Of course, she was charged as a juvenile and taken to a juvenile detention center. Her attorney requested for the girl to be released with an ankle monitor, but the judge refused this. However, this is a complicated case for a 10-year-old charged with murder, and State Attorney Monique Worrell underlined this. This is one of the most tragic cases I have seen in my 22-year career. This is an unimaginable tragedy that defies easy solutions. Monique Worrell mentioned that the girl won't be officially identified by name, at least until her case is finished. She also noted that whatever charges they bring to the girl, they must take the rehabilitation into consideration first.
We anticipate that whatever charges we eventually file, if any, will ensure she receives the interventions necessary to address her behavior, help her change and grow, and ensure the public's safety going forward.
Exactly. A young kid who committed a crime should first and foremost receive therapy, not prison time. Psychologists and specialists will have to dig into the Isaac family history and uncover how this 10-year-old ended up killing for her mom in the first place. Had the grooming been going on for a long time? Had Lucretia trained her to or was it someone else in the family? And did she plant an idea in her head that she must protect her mom in dangerous situations? Or was Lucretia so mentally vulnerable that her 10-year-old daughter felt the need to step up and become the adult in the relationship? Either way, it's deeply unfair to her and extremely dangerous to herself and others.
I believe that the minimum age of arrest should be 14, and I believe very much and very strongly that there is a school to prison pipeline.
So, according to Monique, the 10-year-old girl should not face the same consequences as an adult, or even as a teen for someone, even when it resulted in murder.
Arrest, prison, jail, those are traumatic experiences that significantly scar our children for the future.
If she would be charged as an adult, the girl could get a life sentence for second-degree murder. But it's very likely that she didn't even realize what she had truly done until she was arrested. So the law has to go a different way for really young kids who commit murder. As the wheels of justice move slowly in any case, in this case they might be even slower. In July 2023, it was announced that Lucretia's trial is to be set in August, with at least 4 serious charges. She can end up spending decades in prison. People who have been following the case are eager to learn what she has to say about her relationship with her daughter. Why did she throw her the bag with the gun? Why didn't she use the gun herself? And why did she feel that she had to use a gun to settle an argument in the first place? However, considering her lack of remorse or emotion after the shooting, and considering what she said to the cops during her interrogation, it's likely we won't get much information from Lucretia herself. Perhaps when the time comes, her daughter will have more to say about her childhood. Maybe she will even testify against her mother, but only time will tell the full story. As some people are waiting for the mother and daughter trials, and some are still reeling from the tragedy of losing LaShawn, people are coming together to discuss gun violence in the United States. Orlando Commissioner Regina Hill said state and federal lawmakers need to take action against gun violence, and added that she's starting a new program in Orlando. She added that LaShawn Rogers was an involved parent and often volunteered for school programs. So the community is uniting to give back in any way that they can. As of 2023, the stats are bleak when it comes to gun violence.
In yet another incident of violence in the United States, a black teenager was shot by a homeowner in Missouri after he rang the wrong doorbell. The homeowner opened the door and shot the boy twice in the head and chest. The incident took place last Thursday when the teenager was going to pick up his younger twin brother from a play date.
The fact that the man saw an African-American kid and assumed he was breaking into his house is appalling. And the fact that he had a gun made it so much easier to do the worst. Imagine if he just shouted at the boy to leave from behind his door. Easier, and no risk of killing someone.
Here's one thing you need to do before buying
Get off my
online.
lawn.
Don't
Y'all
spend
seen
another
Monster
time on
House.
Amazon until you watch this first. Watch this.
Come on, bro.
I can show you how to get this.
Don't even be all that.
Killing someone, right? Miraculously, this boy survived, although his recovery won't be an easy one. Others aren't so lucky. According to the CDC, more Americans die of gun-related injuries in 2021 than any other year on record, almost 49,000. Even as people develop better awareness of guns and the danger of keeping guns in their home, the stats seem to be on the rise. On August 3rd, 2023, ABC News reported that 25,000 people have already died from gun violence in 2023, and that's just over half a year gone. 1,000 of those were children. There have also been 421 mass shootings so far. The number is shocking. There have been at least 20 K-12 school shootings so far this year, including a March 27th incident at the Covenant School, a Christian school for students in preschool through 6th grade in Nashville, Tennessee. 20 K-12 school so far this year, including a March 27th incident at the Covenant School, a Christian school for students in preschool through 6th grade in Nashville, Tennessee, where 3 children and 3 staff members were killed. In Michigan, 3 students were killed and 5 others were injured as a gun opened fire at 2 locations on Michigan State University's main campus in East Lansing in February. And California saw 3 mass shootings in a matter of days. In January, with 1 shooting, leaving at least 11 people killed and 10 others injured after a man opened fire at a dance studio near a Lunar New Year celebration in Monterey Park, California. Honestly, how many more people have to die before the guns start disappearing? Or, at the very least, they're kept away from children? What Lucretia did by handing her daughter that gun is chilling. As a mother, you think you'd want to protect your child no matter what and keep them out of harm's way. Lucretia did the opposite. In fact, she encouraged, if not urged, her daughter to kill her neighbor. She also taught her to first and ask questions later. LaShun's loved ones remember her as a peaceful person who loved children and gave a lot to her community. So why did Lucretia see murder as the only solution to resolving an argument with her? It will be interesting to see how Lucretia's trial and her daughter's case develop. Let's hope that they both understand the consequences of their actions and that the girl can start therapy and develop into a sane adult who is not a threat to others. Hey, thanks a bunch for watching. What do you think about this case? Do you know of other cases where a child did something unspeakable for their family? Let me know in the comment section. And before you go, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to my channel. See you next time.
Wow, man, the whole situation is messed up because now you put your daughter into your problems. Now she has to live with killing somebody for the rest of her life. You didn't kill nobody, so now you're. But to get to talk about the gun situation, so it's just I don't know. I don't really want to speak on it too much because I don't want to try to get into that stuff, but. All I gotta say is just be safe, because it's like they say take away guns, but then there's people out here that's doing this and that. So, but hopefully the girl can get the therapy she needs and go on by her life after this situation's over with, because now she has a body on her mind for the rest of her life. She didn't kill somebody, and well. Oh man, it just gets crazier and crazier. But YouTube, if you're rocking with the channel, go ahead and leave me a like, comment, and subscribe. Catch me on the next one.